A LinkedIn survey in 2023 showed that the technology sector continues to be the fastest growing in terms of jobs available. And within the technology sector, the cybersecurity subsector is the fastest growing, continuing to expect to rise at about 35% in the years ahead between now and 2031. It is estimated that there's over 1 million openings in cybersecurity between now and 2025 that need to be filled. And this has led to many people looking to get into the field of cybersecurity, especially those who don't have a background in technology. So you ask yourself, what exactly is cybersecurity? What does it involve? What does it entail? And if you want to get into cybersecurity, what exactly do you need to think about? What skills do you need? Do you need any specific education type? All of that we're going to be looking at on today's episode. So sit back and listen while we talk about what exactly cybersecurity is. So talking about getting into cybersecurity, we want to look at some of the things people say. Are you a beginner? Are you considering a career switch? Let's see what are the things you need to know. What are the specializations? What are the key skills? What are the educational requirements, pathways, certifications? Certification is important, I don't know, to help you thrive in this field of cybersecurity. So first thing first, people say, I want to get into cybersecurity. It's a very, 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 I'm sure you get the picture, broad field. Um, there's penetration testing, ethical hacking, network security, incident response, identity, digital forensics, risk management, GRC. The list goes on and on and on. So let's break it down. Let's talk about some of the key areas when you talk about cybersecurity, because you can't just do everything. Well, let's say you're a jack of all trades. Then you might be able to do everything. But let's actually just look at some of the key areas. So let's start with penetration testing and ethical hacking. That's the glamour boys of cybersecurity, because all the Hollywood movies, you see someone in the basement in a hoodie clacking away at a keyboard. Those are the ethical hackers. Well, if they're not doing anything nefarious. Professionals in this field identify vulnerabilities, weaknesses in systems, networks. They simulate an attack, and their role is to find those weaknesses before malicious actors actually exploit those weaknesses. Because you don't want to have a system that's faulty and you don't know, and then wham bam, someone has actually hacked you, and then you are on the hook for billions in ransom. So ethical hackers are those people who keep most of those, identify those vulnerabilities, those flaws, and try to fix them before they're exploited by malicious actors. Then we've got network security specialists, and they focus on safeguarding the organization's network infrastructure from unauthorized access. Think of all your, you want to make sure that you're keeping the CIA triad, which you hear a lot about, and it's nothing to do with Virginia. The CIA triad of confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data transmitted across the network. So they are responsible for firewalls, firewall rules, monitoring traffic. If you've got VPN software, they manage all of that. So those are the guys who make sure that all the information is flowing smoothly across, the various networks, wired, wireless, fiber. Another area of cybersecurity is incident response, and these people are experts who handle, cybersecurity incidents. So if there's an issue that needs to be investigated, then you call your IR team, your incident response team, not infrared, and they respond to identify, contain, mitigate the impact of breaches or cyber threats, and they really play a critical role in minimizing damage and restoring normalcy to your operations. So they're important people. We've also got digital forensics, who are the investigators of the cybersecurity world. They analyze and investigate cyber crimes. They collect and analyze a ton of data, digital evidence to identify the perpetrators and support legal proceedings. And their work is very vital in understanding how cyber incidents happened from the beginning through to while it was going on, and how it was all stopped. And also, it's also very important to prosecute the bad guys who got into your network. So those are the incident response team. We've also got risk management. Risk management is the people who assess your network, assess your infrastructure, your organization, uh, and identify the various risks that you could face in the course of business. And then they develop strategies to minimize those risks and protect your sensitive data. They also play a crucial role in implementing comprehensive security frameworks in line with several industry standards. There's NIST, there's ISO 27001. There's a bunch of different standards, and they make sure that all of that is happening. We've also got a few other niche teams. We've also got software development security specialists who ensure that your software is developed with security in mind from the ground up. So you don't bolt on security afterwards, but you actually build in security from the very beginning. So software security people deal with that. And then you've also got some people who do identity and access management. And identity and access management basically to ensure that the right people have the right access to the right resources and nothing else. So you don't want anyone who is not authorized to get access to some information which could be sensitive and could be catastrophic if it gets into the wrong hands. Uh, so those are some of the key areas, the key roles you would have within cybersecurity. They're all related, but also quite different. And I haven't met one person. Let me think. No, I haven't. I haven't met one person who um, does all of this extremely well. They probably exist, but you would understand the basics. But most people tend to specialize and focus on what you want to do. So that's the way it is. Now that we know all of these, various specializations, let's talk about the skills you need. You need certain skills to succeed in the field of cybersecurity generally, not even specifically to one area, but just generally. One of the key things important: strong analytical skills, strong problem solving skills. Those two are very vital. And then you need to understand a at least have a basic understanding of networking, programming, and operating systems, how they work, how they all come together. You don't necessarily need to know how to write code, but it helps if you do know how to write code. You don't necessarily need to understand how to create, manage, and troubleshoot networks, depending on what area you're looking at, but it helps if you know how to do that. So you can see how it is. It's not compulsory, but it is necessary. But the crucial things, the most important things, you need to have analytical skills. You need to have the ability to be able to take complex information, identify patterns, and make informed decisions, because those are absolutely essential to succeed in a cybersecurity role. You also need to have a keen eye for detail, because you want to pay attention to detail, and the ability to think critically will help you uncover potential threats and vulnerabilities that may come up. Um, you also have to, like I said, have a decent knowledge of networking, so protocols, architecture, security principles. Those will be important because you might have to, secure networks or VPNs, intrusion detection systems as well. So all of that is important. I say you don't have to program. I stand by that. But there's quite a few people who think differently. It all depends on what area you're going into in cybersecurity. But, and this is the but, if you do know how to write programs, particularly in languages like Python, Java, C++, C Sharp, it can be really beneficial to you, to your career. Your career can take off uh, in cybersecurity, because you just sort of understand how some of these things all come together, and you can develop custom tools that would enhance your effectiveness, in your various roles. And finally, if you have a good understanding of operating systems, you really understand that underlying framework of how computer systems all come together. Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, mobile operating systems, all of that. So it all sort of comes together. Now, like I said, one person may not have all of those skills, but if one person has them, it would be absolutely great. I wish I was that person, but it isn't easy to find one person with all those skills. You could have someone that has a few of those, but not always. Formal education also isn't really crucial. You don't have to have a degree in computer science or computer information systems or computer engineering to get to cybersecurity, though it helps. But what I would say is, while formal education in cybersecurity is valuable, it does not take the place of experience, hands on skills, and proof of proficiency. So, if you don't have a degree, but you've got a ton of hands on skills, you've got soft skills, and you've got proof of proficiency, hey, you're going to get a job. So, there's that as well to think about. And while we think about, you know, an academic education, there's also the age old debate in cybersecurity and, in fact, in all of technology and IT. And it's going to go, I'm not going to stop that debate, and I'm not going to try to, but it's the debate of certifications or no certifications, to certify or not to certify. Do you want to take certifications as the key thing, or do you not want to take certifications? And I say it varies. You can build your skills practically and be able to do that thing very well. But the certification provides a third party validation of those skills. So if I didn't know you before and I was going to judge you based off of uh, documentation about you, I see maybe a bio. If I see that you've got a couple of certifications, then I would expect you can do the job. And if you do not have those certifications, it's kind of logical. So um, while it's not crucial, it does help your career to actually get certified. And speaking of certifications, let's talk about a few that could boost your career. They're important, right? So let's see. If you want to get a career, build a career as an ethical hacker, penetration tester, then you would do well to consider doing the Certified Ethical Hacker CEH or the Offensive Security Certified Professional OSCP. Those two were considered really good. They're like the gold standard in the industry for penetration testing and ethical hacking. So if you want to showcase your skills, that's what you want to do. But broadly speaking, for general cybersecurity, one certification considered the gold standard is the CISSP, Certified Information System Security Professional. As a CISSP, you're at the top of your game. You understand everything there is to know about security across all the areas of security: software development, ethical hacking, cryptography, identity and access management, governance, risk and compliance, audit, everything. So you're like the big boss that understands everything in security. And it's a very coveted certification in industry. It's quite difficult to get, but a lot of people do get it. And if you get it, it's pretty much a good feeling when you get that. So if you want to showcase that you're the Don, then go get the CISSP. Now, there's two other certifications which are quite niche in the sense that they are very, very specialized in what they are. But if you have them, you're pretty much a king in those domains. The first of those is the CFE, the Certified Forensic Examiner, and those are the folks who would lead all there's an incident, there's a cyber crime, or there's a breach. You need a CFE who's going to head that investigation, lead all of that, and you can do a really good job of finding out what has happened, painting a picture from the beginning through to while it happened till the end. So a CFE is crucial to have in those roles. You want to get a CFE. But like I said, it's very niche. The other security certification I wanted to talk about is the QSA, Qualified Security Assessor. And that's a certificate that is required for the payment card industry data security standard. A QSA is required to be able to validate payment merchants and providers that they meet all the requirements for handling and processing such transactions involving credit cards and all of that. It's also a very niche credential, but um, if you're a QSA, you can make big buck, so that's good. So if you want to go into something really really specialized, you can be a CFE, you can be a QSA as well. Those are two very niche certifications, but they are also very crucial in the industry. But I will say this though. remember, certifications only validate your knowledge. You need to have hands-on experience and be able to show proficiency that you've got that experience as well. So it's not only about gathering the alphabet soup of certifications behind your name, because it could be very long. You've got so many certifications and you have so many letters behind your name. Um, it's always fun sometimes, but it gets tiring after a while, I think. Maybe that's just me. Um, so certifications validate your knowledge, but you still need to be able to demonstrate that in a professional environment that you're able to do all of that. So that's where certifications come in. So certification is important. I don't know. What do you think? Let's put in the comments. Let's see what you think about certifications. Are they crucial? Are they very important? I'd like to know what you think. So feedback is highly welcome. So I hope that if you've been thinking about getting into cybersecurity, this has helped you a bit. I hope not confused you a bit more than you were before you watched this video or listen to this podcast. Um, Cybersecurity is a really, really broad industry, and there's so many specializations within cybersecurity. So you would do well to realize, what are your skills, what are your strengths, what do you enjoy doing, and then what area of cybersecurity can that get into, and then that can help you sort of start your journey into becoming a cybersecurity professional. So that's all for now on this video. I hope it was useful. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think you would want to get into cybersecurity? If you want to get into cybersecurity, what area are you looking to get into? I would love to have a conversation. So please leave that down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well to our channel so that you can get all of the juicy content we release when they come out. And so hit that notification bell so that you also get notified when we release new content. Thank you for watching again. Until next time, peace out.